Great day, learners. It's me again, Miss Bethel. So we're actually done discussing computation of sample statistics. Now let's proceed to problem sets because for sure you need this for your midterm examination. Again, I'm Miss Bethel Grace P. Pavan, your Agric 44 laboratory instructor. So sample. Suppose a sample of 10 women seeking prenatal care at Maternity and Children's Hospital agreed to participate in a study to assess the quality of prenatal care. At the time of the study enrollment, you, the study coordinator, collected background characteristics on each of the moms, including their age in years. So the data are shown below. We have 51 years old, ayun, menopausal baby, 35 years old, 21 years old, 12 years old, 42 years old, 18 years old, 57 years old, 45 years old, 19 years old, and 18 years old. Mom, 12 years old. Yeah. Okay. So do not react. So we need to calculate the following. First is, of course, check on the summation. So simple summation of the 10 variables. Simply add all the 10. So 51 plus 35 plus 21 plus 12 plus 42 plus 18 plus 57 plus 45 plus 19 and plus 18. So it's 318. Then we need to get the mean. So to get the mean, you simply divide the summation of all the data sets over the number of sample size, which is 10. So 318 divided by 10, it's 31.8. Then the variance. So for the variance, to compute for this is our equation. So variance, to compute for this, we need to get the sum of squares or square of a sum. Of course, sum of squares. So it's 12,458 minus square of the sum. The sum is 318 squared, so it's 101,124 divided by 10 over all the degrees of freedom, or n minus 1, which is 9 or 10 minus 1. So the variance is 260.62. So for the computation of the variance, we use this equation. Summation of the sum of squares minus summation of the square of the sum divided by n, or the number of samples, over all n minus 1, or the degrees of freedom. So we know that the summation of the sum of squares is equal to 12,458, and then the summation of the square of a sum, 318 square, is simply, this one, 318 square, is simply 101,124 divided by 10, subtract the value from 12,458, and then divide it by 9, which is the degrees of freedom. So we acquire 260.62. For the computation of the standard deviation, it's very simple. It's just the square root of the variance. So square root of 260.62, this is 16.14. Then for the CV, it's divided as, or computed rather, as square root of the variance, or simply the SD, or the standard deviation, over the mean. So it's square root of 260.62 divided by 31.8 times 100, or simply saying 16.14 divided by 31.8 times 100. The answer is 50.75. Okay. Then to compute for the standard of error, or the standard error, so standard deviation divided by the square root of the n, or the sample size. So 16.14 divided by square root of 10, the answer is 5.11. For the computation of the margin of error at 95% confidence level, so T alpha 0.05 is equal to 2.62. So later on, we would know kung paano ba natin nakuha yung 2.62. So multiply this value by the standard of error. So 2.262 times 5.11, which is the standard of error, is equals to 11.56. So the margin of error at 95% confidence level is equal to 11.56. Now we could actually get the lower limit plus the upper limit for the 95% confidence interval. So 2.262 is our T alpha at 0.05. So to compute for the lower limit, it's just mean minus the T alpha at 0.05 times the standard of error. So 31.8 is the mean minus 2.262 times 5.11. The answer is 20.24. The other way of getting this is simple, because we know that this is the margin of error. So simply subtract the margin of error from the mean. So 31.8 minus 11.56 is equal to 20.24. For the upper limit naman, so instead of subtracting, we need to add. So 31.8 plus 2.262 times 5.11 is equals to 443.36. Sorry, nabubulol ako. And then for the other way of computing it, simply adding the margin of error, which is 11.56, diba dito, it's 11.56 to the mean, which is 31.8. So the answer is 43.36. They are just the same, okay? So we need to get the margin of error at 99% confidence in level. So you would notice, no, in your data sheet, medyo may mali doon. Automatic po, pagka 95% yung sinabi, T alpha is 0.05. Pagka 99%, T alpha is 0.01. So T alpha 0.01 is equals to 3.250. So to get the margin of error, we need to multiply this with a standard of error, which is 5.11. Then we get 16.61. So now compute for the lower limit at 99% confidence level. It's 31.8 minus 3.250 times 5.11. The answer is 15.19. So another way of solving this is simply subtract the margin of error at 99% confidence level from the mean. So the answer is 15.59. Sorry, why are they different? So let's try to compute it, okay? Bakit siya nagkamali? So let me compute it first, minus 16.61. The answer is 15.19. So sorry for this. This is 15.19. Please disregard the 5 and change it with 15.19. Typo error lang po yan. And then the upper limit, again, we simply need to add. So the answer is 48.41. The same story goes with the other side. Instead of getting the standard error, we already computed it earlier naman. So we simply add it directly to our mean. So that's it. No, as easy as that, we could actually compute for the lower and upper limit confidence interval. Now let's proceed with hypothesis testing for a population mean. So we are actually given 45 as the population mean, then population standard deviation is 12. So we need to compute for the Z and T value. So assuming these are the values, so now we just replace or substitute the values. So 31.8 is our mean minus 45, which is the given, the population or the parameter mean, over 12, which is the standard deviation of the population, over the square root of the sample size, which is 10. So we have negative 3.47. For our T value or tested T statistic, so this should have a bar. So mean minus the mu over the standard deviation, divide the standard deviation by the sample size. So 31.8 minus 45 over 16.14 divided by square root of 10. The answer is negative 2.58. Earlier, we have known the Z value, which is negative 3.47. And we have the confidence level, 95%, and the confidence interval, negative 1.96 and 1.96. Okay, at 95% confidence level. So given the Z value, which is negative 3.47, remember, it's already outside our confidence interval. Ibig sabihin po nun, kailangan ba natin i-accept or i-reject ang ating null hypothesis? Okay, this is rejecting the null hypothesis. Okay? It's because this value is already outside our confidence interval. So assuming that our null hypothesis was actually given, having the Z value, having the confidence level and the confidence interval, we are going to reject the null hypothesis at 95% confidence level. For 99% confidence level, still we are going to reject because the value is only negative 2.576 and positive 2.576. This is for T, okay? I rather for Z, not for T. So negative 3.47 is outside negative 2, so we are going to reject the null hypothesis at 99% confidence level. So talking about the T naman, So, negative 2.58 yung value natin. At 95%, the value is 2.262, negative and positive 2.262. Remember, 2.57, 58 rather, is outside the confidence interval. So again, at 95%, we are going to reject the null hypothesis. But at 99% confidence level, we are going to accept the null hypothesis because it's within the confidence interval. So more examples. Okay, let's try to have a bite-sized chunks of the whole. I just copied these clips, okay, from the internet. So I would like to share this to you. So we have here another example. So a factory has a machine that dispenses 80 ml of fluid in a bottle. An employee believes that the average amount of fluid is not 80 ml. Using 40 samples, he measures the average amount dispensed by the machine to be 78 ml with a standard deviation of 2.5. Now, we need to state the null and alternative hypothesis. B, at 95% confidence level, is there enough evidence to support the idea that the machine is not working properly? Because it was believed, diba, na 80 ml yung nadadispense niya. Kaso, 78%, rather 78 ml pala yung totoong nadadispense niya. Yun yung sabi ng isang employee. So, we need to test, okay, kung totoo ba yung sinabi ng employee. So, given, of course, yung ating null hypothesis is ito. Yes, a machine that dispenses 80 ml of fluid. So, this is our null hypothesis. Okay, that M is equal to 80 or our mu, okay, is equal to 80. And ito yung alternative because the employee believes na hindi daw equivalent to 80, 78 lang daw. So alternative is mu is not equal to 80 or the mean is not equal to 80. So let's write the given. The given is, we have here the sample mean, which is 78. Then the standard deviation, which is 2.5. Tapos, our sample size, which is 40. So we just actually need to substitute the given. So this is 78. 78 minus 80 over 2.5 divided by square root of 40. So the answer is negative 2 over 0.39528. So the answer is 5.06. This is the Z. So we need to determine if this value is actually within the range or outside. We know for a fact that at 95% confidence interval, it's negative 1.96 and 1.96. Remember, this is the rejection zone, rejection of our null hypothesis. And mind you that the value of our Z is negative 5.06. Of course, it's beyond negative 1.96. Thus, this is found at the far left side of our normal distribution. So the area of shaded region actually tells us that we need to reject the null hypothesis. And this illustration tells us that with 95%, we cannot accept the null hypothesis that the average amount of fluid dispensed by the machine is 80 ml. So we will accept the alternative hypothesis, wherein it tells us na the average amount of fluid is only 78 ml. It's not equal to 80 ml. Another example is here. So a company manufactures car batteries with an average lifespan of 2 or more years. An engineer believes this value to be less. It's not for that engineer. Hindi yan totoo. Hindi yan aabot ng 2 years or more. So he used 10 samples and measures the average lifespan to be only equal to 1.8 years with a standard deviation of 0.15. So we need to state the null and alternative hypothesis. And at 99% confidence level, is there enough evidence to discard the null hypothesis? So our null hypothesis is that the mean is greater than or equal to 2. Kasi nga, di ba, ang sabi dito, 2 or more years. Our alternative hypothesis is the mean is less than 2. Kasi sabi dito, 1.8 lang daw. So first, we need to write the given. So the sample size is 10. Our mean is 1.8. Okay, the alternative 1. Then our standard deviation is 0.15. And then our alternative mean Rather, our null mean or mean of the null hypothesis is 2. So notice that this is one tail. Okay, one tail lang po siya. Since the mean is less than 2 years. So negative po siya. Dito po siya sa far left. It will become a two-tail. Kailan po ba siya pwedeng maging two-tail? If the alternative hypothesis says that the mean is not equal to 2. Kagaya po dito. Not equal, kaya two-tail po siya. Pero sa second example po natin, less than 2, kaya one tail lang po siya. Less than, so negative. So dito po sa side na ito. So first is, we need to get the value of the t. Diba po? 99 rather. So 99%. So the value of t is 99. So 1 minus 0.99, it's equals to 0.01. So this is our alpha. And then this is the value. So sa left side po, this is the sample size minus 1. So this is the degrees of freedom. Our sample size is 10 minus 1, so 9. So 9 at 0.01 is equal to 2.8214. So this is our alpha at 0.01. It's 2.8214. So t-test, bakit natin sinasabi na t-test yung ating gagamitin? Since we do not know the population standard deviation, ang given lang po ay ang sample standard deviation. Plus, ang sample size po natin is less than 10. Kasi nga, di ba, the DF is less than sample size minus 1. So, 9 siya. So, less than 10 lang po siya. Kaya po natin masasabi na hindi po tayo pwede gumamit ng Z, kundi T lang po. Okay, I hope that's clear po with you. Now, here's the solution. So, we just need to substitute the value. So 1.8 minus 2 divided by 0.15 over square root of 10. The answer is 4.22. So let's find saan nga ba yung 4.22 sa ating value. Remember, it's negative 2.82. Ito po yung zone ng rejection. This is the acceptance level. So the calculated t value is in the shaded area. Kasi po, negative 4.22. So, outside na po siya. Dito po siya. So, it is in the rejection zone or area. We should reject the null hypothesis. With 99% level of confidence, we could not accept the null hypothesis. So, ang sabi ng null hypothesis, 2 years and more daw. Pero ang totoo pala, hindi siya umaabot ng 2 years or more. So, this is with 99%, there is enough evidence to discard the null hypothesis. So that ends po our problem set. Sorry for my voice. At saka sorry din po medyo po I'm being chased by a dog kasi po nagmamadali ako. But I hope everything naman po is clear and in order. I hope you find everything in order. So thank you so much. That ends our topic, our discussion, and our problem set about computation of sample statistics. Thank you and have a great day ahead. God bless us all.